Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Am I audible to all? Hare Krishna. Am I audible to all? Is it clear? Voice is clear? Okay, thank you. Om Partaya Pradibhogitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Kraditam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrita Varshine Bhagavate Ashtadashadyayine Ambatvanu Sandarami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshine Namostute Vyasa Vijala Buddhe Pullara Vindaya Chapatra Netra Enatvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pratipaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraikapanaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gitamrita Duhe Namaha Sarvopanishado Gavaha Dokta Gopanandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhogda Dugdam Gitamritam Mahat Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramarthanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Bhishmadrona Tadavayatra Jatala Gandhara Nilotphala Salyagrahapatir Venavahani Karnena Velakula Ashvattama Vikarna Ghora Makara Duryodhana Vardini Chotir Kalupandavai Yarani Kaivarta Katkeshavaha Parajavalyamajassarojamalam Gitartha Dandodghatam Nana Kyatakesharam Harikata Sambodhana Bodhitam Loke Shajjana Chatpahai Areya Pebiyamanam Buddha Bhuyad Bharata Pankajam Kalimala Pradvamshina Shreyase Mukam Karoti Vajalam Pankum Langayate Girim Yatrupadamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Ruddhamarutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedaishchandramapmopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyana Vastita Tadgadena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantam Navidussudha Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Satyananda Jinta Satyeka Pakshe Sarvadhyakshe Bhakti Rakshadi Dakshe Shri Govinde Vishwasargadikande Purnanande Nityamastam Matirme Agyani Rahitu Upaitiya Vishesham Bhakti Parapavajati Pariposhamuchaihi Tatvam Param Spurati Durgamam Abhyajasram Satkunya Britsvarchitam Pranamami Gitam Gauram Sukhas Satkumuda Pramodhi Swabhi Kayagostamo Nihanta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sudani Dharme Manoditishtan Swaratim Karotu Prachina Vacha Suvicharya Soham Agyopi Gita Amritalesa Lipshuhu Yata Prabhoreva Madeta Datra Santakshamadvam Sharanagasya. Hare Krishna. Welcome you all for this Gita Sastri course. So, starting from today, every week from Monday to Friday in the evening 6:30 to 7 o'clock, we'll be discussing on Bhagavad Gita. This course was mercifully arranged or allowed by His Grace Adesham Prabhu, and on behalf of BVRV also, we are very grateful for arranging this course, and also welcome all the devotees in the interest of hearing this Bhagavad Gita with Acaryas commentaries. So we will be discussing in a traditional way. We will not have any PowerPoint presentations, and we have not yet come up with any kinds of notes or documents. And if anyone is interested, you can make notes, and also if it is good, we can circulate it with our devotees for the further references. So we may need help in that area also. If at all you are interested, you can make notes also, and we can use it for our later classes. So Bhagavad Gita, it's a well-known Shastra, especially in other sampradayas, like in not only in Vaishnava sampradayas, even in Shankara sampradaya, this Bhagavad Gita is considered as very important literature, very important Shastra. It comes under Prasthanatraya. In Gaudiya Parampara, our Jiva Goswami has used this Bhagavad Gita extensively in his Sandarbhas, and also we find Vishwachapati Thakur and Baladev Vidyabhushana has given very elaborate Bhagavad Gita commentary. And then until we have Bhaktivinoda Thakur, this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita was not much practiced or spoken or learned in our Gaudiya Parampara. Then after the appearance of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, this Bhagavad Gita got very prominent in our Gaudiya Sampradaya also. And after that, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he preached Bhagavad Gita very extensively, and our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, he has made this Bhagavad Gita as a universal book, as a universal guide, and he gave a very brief and very appealing commentary. And by means of this, now all over the world, we can see the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is widespread, and people are trying to understand Bhagavad Gita. So in this course, we will not be discussing mostly on preaching part, because as I know, the devotees who are attending this course are already to very much extent are preachers, or you have done your Bhakti Sastri and many other courses in Bhagavad Gita. We are all hearing this Bhagavad Gita regularly. So we will not go much into preaching part, but we'll go into a Shastric part, like how Acaryas are explaining the verses and how the flow goes in the chapter, and what is the connection between shlokas, and what is the relevant between different subjects matter which are discussed in Bhagavad Gita. So in this way, we will go more of Shastric way of understanding Bhagavad Gita, and wherever it is necessary, we'll see some interesting preaching part also, which other Acaryas they explain to us. The Supreme Lord, who has no birth, Ajayamanaha Bahuda Vijayate, as Vedas proclaim, the Lord comes down to this material world out of his mercy. So when he comes down, he wants to leave an impression, or he wants to leave a way so that we can reach him. So that's why the Bhagavad Gita is considered as the main Shastra which helps us to reach the Lord. We know Krishna is Purna Purushottama, and his avatara, he's not avatar, he's avatari, he's Swayam Bhagavan. So when he comes down, he doesn't deal, or he doesn't behave like other avatars. He shows his complete form, or he shows his complete powers, and also he gives a very complete instructions also, so that we can reach him. So that's why this Bhagavad Gita is considered as the Purna Shastra, because it is spoken by the Purna Avatara, Krishna, Swayam Bhagavan. The Lord doesn't have to instruct Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna just to make him fight, because he's ultimately the Ishvara, he's a controller. He can change Arjuna's mind in a second, but purposefully he kept Arjuna in illusion so that we can get this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So in this way, this Bhagavad Gita is considered as the essence of all the Upanishads, because Vedas, they proclaim Tattva Jnanatu Mokshaha Ajnanat Samsaraha. Only by Tattva Jnana, only by understanding the supreme truth, one gets moksha. When if you are in ignorance, then we'll be in this samsara only. So, how to understand this Tattva Jnana? Then we have Shastras, and in the Shastra we have Vedas, and Vedas are very vast to understand, and Vedas deal with very various kinds of subject matter, and we get lost when we enter inside Vedic knowledge. So we have Upanishads to understand the Tattva Jnana, and especially this Upanishadic language is also very difficult to understand the supreme truth, because the Upanishad doesn't speak directly about the Lord, and it doesn't give the conclusions very directly. It speaks in an indirect way, so it's very difficult for us to understand or to follow the Upanishadic language also. So considering all this thing, the Lord has decided to give a perfect knowledge or the essence of all the Upanishadic knowledge by means of a Shastra called Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is considered as the essence of all the Upanishads. It's called Gita Upanishad. So if you can understand Bhagavad Gita, this 700 verses, you don't have to go through all the Upanishads, which are numerous in number and which are very difficult to understand also. So that's the glory of Bhagavad Gita. Just by understanding this Bhagavad Gita, we can understand the essence of all the Upanishads. That's why Bhagavad Gita is considered as Vedya Vakya. We have Veda Vakya, we have Vaidika Vakya, and we have Vedya Vakya. We have, what is that? We have Veda Vakya. Veda Vakya means the Upanishads. Upanishads, they speak about Vedas, the essence of the Vedas, which are given in the Upanishads. And Vaidika Vakya. Vaidika Vakya means the followers of Vedas. That is Vyasadeva. So he has given Vedanta Sutra, that is called Vaidika Vakya. And Bhagavad Gita is called Vedya Vakya. Vedya means the object of Vedas, or the ultimate understanding of Veda is called Vedya. So the Lord himself proclaims or speaks or declares or gives the essence of the Vedas. That's why Bhagavad Gita is called Vedya Vakya. So just by understanding this Bhagavad Gita, we can understand the essence of the Vedic literature. So ultimately, the essence of all the understanding of Veda is Arodhya Sarva Shastrani Vicharyani cha punah punaha idam ekam sumishpannam dhyeyo narayana sada. So after understanding all the Shastras and its teachings, the ultimate conclusion is we should always have the meditation on Lord. So that is the ultimate goal, and that is what Bhagavad Gita is also leading us to. So this Bhagavad Gita, as I said, many Acaryas, almost all the Sampradayas have a commentary or more than one commentary on Bhagavad Gita, especially starting from Adi Shankara himself. Many Acaryas have gone through Bhagavad Gita and they have given very beautiful commentaries. So in this course, we'll be discussing mostly from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Sarartha Varshini Tika and Baladev Vidyabhushana's Gita Bhushana, and also from Ramanujacharya's Gita Vyakhyana, and also we will be discussing from Gita Sangraha of Yamunacharya, and also Tatpari Chandrika of Vedanta Deshika, and also a very interesting commentary of Madhusudana Saraswati. It's called Gudartha Deepika. So even though Madhusudana Saraswati is he was present when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was on this planet, but somehow or other he could not meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he had influence of Gaudiya Sampradaya. We can see his commentaries are full of bhakti, and he stresses more on Nama Sankirtana. Especially if you see for Vishnu Sahasranama, this Madhusudana Saraswati has written a very elaborate commentary on the Nama Tattva. So he has a very good influence or great influence of this Gaudiya philosophy. So we will be discussing something from Madhusudana Saraswati's Gudartha Deepika also, and also our Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He has given a beautiful commentary based on Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Baladev Vidya Bhushana. It is called Rasika Ranjana and Vidvat Ranjana. So based on this commentary also we'll be discussing, and we have much more to discuss. So we'll not be going through introduction classes. Usually we give introduction classes like 2-3 classes for Bhagavad Gita, but already we have given introduction class and is recorded. So we can go through the introduction class and we'll be going inside Bhagavad Gita directly. So Shastras, they mainly discuss about 5 important things. Any Shastras, they speak about these 5 important things, that are Praptasya Brahmano Rupam, Praptuscha Pratyagatmanah, Praptibayam Palam Praptehe, Tata Prapti Virodista, Vedanti Sakala Vedaha, Saidhihasa Puranakaha, Munayascha Mahatmanaha, Veda Vedantinaha. So these are the 5 subject matter which all the Shastras they discuss. Praptascha Brahmano Rupam, that is the position of soul, the nature of the soul. Praptascha Brahmano Rupam, Praptuscha Pratyagatmanah. And then it speaks about the Supreme Lord. And the third thing, Praptipayam, the way to reach that Lord. Then Palam Praptehe, the result of attaining that Lord. So these are the 4 subjects. And what is the 5th one? Then it says, Tata Prapti Virodischa, the Virodi or the enemy which stands between the Atma and Paramatma. Something is blocking us in reaching the Lord. So what is that Virodi? That is Prakriti Tattva. So these are the 5 subject matter which all the Shastras they deal with. Vatanti Sakala Vedaha, Saidihasa Puranakaha. All the Vedas, Idihasa, Purana, they discuss this. And Munayascha, Mahatmanaha, the Rishis, the Mahatmas, the devotees, Veda Vedantinaha, Vedas, Vedanta, they all discuss these 5 important subjects. And Bhagavad Gita also discuss about these 5 important subjects. So as per Baladev Vidya Bhushan, we know in Bhagavad Gita we learn about Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma. So we know before this Bhagavad Gita, Krishna goes to Mathura to kill Dandavakra. And then after killing Dandavakra, he comes back to Vrindavan and he stays there in the Vrindavana for 2 months. And then after staying in Vrindavana for 2 months, associating with all the gopis, then he comes back and then he goes to Kurukshetra for this war field. So we can see, even while speaking this Bhagavad Gita, Krishna in the middle of Bhagavad Gita, in the middle of this philosophical discussion, he speaks about Raganuga Bhakti also. So this is one special quality in which we can find in Bhagavad Gita, not in any other Shastra. Just now we have said that in other Shastra we have 5 subject matter, but Bhagavad Gita has one more important subject, that is the Raganuga Bhakti or the Prema Bhakti, which is very difficult to find in other Shastras. Even though Krishna is called Dhira Lalita Nayaka, that is voice cracking. Is it my voice is audible or voice is breaking? Hare Krishna, is my voice is clear or it's breaking? So Krishna is considered as Dhira Lalita Nayaka in Vrajadama. Even though he is very cunning, he is very jovial, he is very youthful, and he is without anxiety, he is roaming around and he is playing with girlfriends. So with that same Krishna, when he comes out of Vrindavana, he becomes more grave, he becomes more peaceful, he becomes more tolerant in his misery, in his miserable time. Like he is called Dhira Prashanta Nayaka. So when Krishna was present in the war field, even though the same Krishna was in Vraja, but he changes his mood from Dhira Lalita to Dhira Prashanta Nayaka. And even though he may speak in a philosophical way from Upanishad, but in the middle of that speech, his love for his devotee, his love for his gopis comes up again and again. That's why if you see Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks about karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, and suddenly he speaks about bhakti yoga on his own. He says, Tachruno, he says, hear from me. How you should hear from me? Then he says that you should hear from me with asakti, with mind attached to me. Maya sakta manaf partha yogam yunjanmadashraya asankhayam samagram mam yata gyashe tachruno. Even though Bhagavad Gita ends in the 6th chapter itself, then Krishna, out of his own interest, he starts speaking about bhakti. So here he thinks about his Vrindavan devotees, his Vrajalila, and then he speaks about this devotion also. So this is a peculiar thing which we find in Bhagavad Gita. So this can be considered as the 6th thing, that is prayer bhakti in Bhagavad Gita. So Baladev Vidyabhushan, he comments that when Krishna speaks about mat chitta mat kada prana bodhayanta parasparam tadayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha, Krishna speaks from Raganuga platform. Krishna speaks about Raganuga bhakti. We will find, while reading Bhagavad Gita, we will find how the ecstasy of Krishna for his devotion comes up again and again. In the middle of this Upanishadic instruction, Krishna speaks of patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upahritam ashtami priyadatmanaha. He speaks such a grave things like atma, karma, so many grave things, and then Krishna suddenly comes down and he says, at least if you can offer me this, I'll be more happy. So this shows his mood of Vrajalila. Krishna is always situated in his Vrajalila. Krishna wants to stay in his own natural position. His natural position is he's a cowherd boy, and then he likes to live with nature, and then he likes to live with those devotees who are very open in heart, very innocent in their heart, and then he wants to deal with those kind of devotees. So in the middle of Bhagavad Gita, we can find this devotional aspect of Bhagavad Gita, of Krishna also. So with this introduction, I will just end here because it's already 7 o'clock, and every day we'll be discussing like this for half an hour, and we won't be taking any questions because we don't have much time. Today we have started little late because I was waiting for everyone to join. If you can all join at 6:25, we can start our class by 6:30 exactly, and then we will have half an hour to discuss. We have many things to discuss. So tomorrow, please join by 6:25. And if you have any questions or comments, you can always message me. I will try to clarify your doubts. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada